welcome to another episode of the Mighty Movie Pod. My name is Ryan.
I'm Josh.
And we're back with another thrilling edition. What's up, Josh?
What's up? We got a lot to talk about right now, man.
Oh, man. I don't know if there's a lot of time for opening banter when we have 9 movies to talk about.
We don't have 9
I've got
movies.
3 shows, 2 to 4 movies. I went and saw a play. I got to talk about that. It was in the park. It was just a guy. It was a one-man show.
Oh god.
It wasn't really a play.
Was it like the Lebowski thing?
No, it was more like
Things you do to save on
did you hear about Mike Tyson's one-man show?
No.
It was a lot like that. I'm just making this up. I didn't see it. I didn't see a one-man show.
You actually had me going on the one-man show thing. I was like, what was this over in the park there by the community
by
center?
the gazebo.
Yeah.
The gazebo's dirty.
The gazebo's nasty, dude. They gotta clean that shit up, man.
No, it was in front of the big chair.
I really wanted to sit in that big chair, but those kids wouldn't get out.
No, you told me you didn't want to sit in the big chair.
It was gonna be hot. I didn't want it hot on my buns.
Anyway, no, we do have a whole lot to talk about. I guess we're going to squish it all in one episode.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought about stretching it,
Yeah.
recording 2 episodes at the same time, stretching out our content to seem like we're better than we are.
Yeah.
But no, we'll just try to get it all done.
I was gonna say, but plus you don't want to do all that.
But before that, I mean, I guess we do need to do some opening banner. Tell me something dumb you've done.
Oh God,
What
I got sick.
Well, that's not your fault. Or was it?
It could have been. I don't know. It was strep throat. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you really should stop going to, like, when you're at a restaurant. After people leave, you go and, like, drink out of their
Just
drinks.
start eating off their plates,
Yeah.
man. Look, man, it's there. They're just gonna throw it away.
It's
They're
true.
Just gonna that was half a steak. You don't throw half a steak away at Applebee's.
I know, right? First of all, who orders steak and then doesn't eat the whole thing?
First of all, who orders steak at Applebee's? I do.
You do. I know you do.
I do. I do. Also, what's the other one you guys bust my balls over? Oh yeah, the couple times we've been to Denny's and I get the spaghetti.
The spaghetti. You're like, I love Denny's spaghetti.
I'm just like, look, man, sometimes I just want shit spaghetti and I don't care.
Wow. Okay. Well, fuck it.
That's about it, man.
That's all we got.
That's all I got, dude. I can't
We
think of it. Everything dumb I want to talk about is related to what
We don't
the
microwave.
subject
Yeah, we
matter.
don't microwave hot dogs every week. Sorry. You know? Like, I don't know.
That apparently was a big deal. A couple
I know.
couple people have reached out to me about that
I know.
one.
Okay.
I think your brother was like, I heard you're an alchemist.
I'm going to steer this ship.
Man, do your thing, man.
We're going to start with, I guess we'll start from worst and go up from there. So,
Space Jam 2.
Space Jam: A New Legacy. Not really a movie.
No, not really a commercial.
Somewhere in between.
It's really nothing.
Yeah. It really is just like,
Okay.
yeah, it's like a sizzle reel that
It
like
really
they would
is.
play at like the Warner Brothers like 200th.
Yeah, like what you're watching before the award show starts, you know.
Yeah.
But it's all Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it's like Warner
properties.
Brothers, 150
that was-
years. Here's
I
a
think-
sizzle reel.
I think that was the only thing about the movie that actually got us interested was trying to figure out who was in the stands. Like we're like, who the fuck are the Cowboys? Is it like Westworld or,
Yeah.
or Deadwood
or is it more just generic because movies?
Yeah,
They
because
have
Cowboys.
and
Yeah, we're like,
pirates.
who the fuck are all these pirates? You
Yeah.
know, and that was the other one. Like, I still don't know who the pirates are, and it still pisses me off. And then there was that one that looked like Alice in Wonderland and Dorothy combined, and I was like, I don't know who that is. She looks like Dorothy, but she's blonde. Alice in Wonderland? Was Alice in Wonderland ever a WB property? No, I know about the Disney movie, and I know about the British movies, but I don't know. You know, it was, God, dude. But then we did see the Clockwork Orange boys in there, and the Blues Brothers. I saw them too.
You got King Kong, obviously.
Wasn't The Mask in there too? No, that was New Line Cinema. There was a Jim Carrey in there. Yeah, Kong was obviously there. The Iron Giant. That was the thing. We started talking about that. Like, what is this huge push for the Iron Giant right now? Is it like a bunch of kids grew up loving Iron Giant and they want to see some love? Or are they really pushing hard? This is my theory, is that they're pushing hard for like a reboot, and they're going to remake the Iron Giant, which is a terrible idea.
But after we watched it, I was watching something else that I'll talk about for a little bit later on. But I was watching Ted Lasso, and they were watching the Iron Giant in that show as well. There was a part with the Iron Giant.
Because like I was shopping, I was over at the Walmart, and like there's an Iron Giant action figure now that you can buy, and I'm like, that movie is like 20 years old, I think, at this point. Where was the love for the Iron Giant back in the day? Why are we getting this huge push? Because, I mean, he's in Ready Player One. Mm-hmm. He's in this. People reference it all the time in a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, did you people just find this movie?
I mean, it's just one of those things, right?
Did these studios just remember that they made that movie?
People love The Big Lebowski, but nobody watched it when it came out.
It's true.
You know?
It's true. That is disturbingly true. I've heard tons of people that have made Lebowski references, and then when I try to talk to them about the movie, they've never seen it.
So there's part of that. So I mean, it was boring.
It was very boring.
The guy who did Bugs, he does a good What Up, Doc?
And that's about it.
That's about it. The rest of it was so.
Yeah, the Looney Tunes were actually the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, they didn't really have anything to do.
They didn't, and they weren't fun. They weren't.
There was one joke. There was one joke in the whole movie that actually was good.
Oh God, which one was it?
So instead of,
I guess the better question is, was there?
So instead of Bill Murray, we got somebody else, and it was framed differently. It's the only good joke.
The one. Yeah, I called it. Yeah, I was just like, oh my God, and you were like, oh God damn it.
Yeah, we should have known.
Yeah,
but we thought that Michael Jordan was going to come, but it was Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
It was a misunderstanding.
Michael B. Boren.
And that's it. They beat the goon squad.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I need to be nicer to my son because he likes video games.
Yeah.
But also he's going to take his basketball to E3. So
I remember being like, what, kid, you didn't realize that you were about, like, how did you not know where you were? like I've been to a big con before. They got banners everywhere.
Well, I don't know if this was E3 or if this was a side
this was
thing.
The E3 Creator Cave or whatever. Yeah.
That's all I have to say about Space Jam.
Yeah, it was funny. I remember we were watching the video game that he built, and we're like, so you made NBA Jam.
Mm-hmm. But it was crazy.
And he used his phone to scan in their moves, and that's how Al G Rhythm, played by one Don Cheadle,
he took his code and then stole everybody's likenesses.
Right.
Not their abilities.
He's just violating IP law all over the place.
That was his whole thing. He was like, we're gonna scan in LeBron James and he's gonna be in every movie.
Yeah.
And LeBron was like, that's a stupid idea. And he's like, I'll show you basketball.
Yeah, and that's the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, a computer was mad at LeBron James.
And also we need to address Hollywood's continual misunderstanding of what technological things are, because he is not an algorithm at all.
He's an AI.
He's an artificial intelligence. But I don't know. I mean, art fickle gents.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. It's just really
RT fickle.
It's just really bad. I don't know. Maybe kids will be like, "Oh, that's fun," but I doubt it.
From a couple of the people I've heard from one guy that told me that his kids loved it, but a lot of the other people I've talked to with children that have seen it, the kids don't even like the fucking movie. And I'm like, yeah, because it sucks. Like, it's not even a fun cartoon to watch.
Nothing fun ever really happening.
Like, it takes way too long to get to wacky basketball hijinks, and then when you get to wacky basketball hijinks, they're not that fun to watch.
It's like very serious too.
Yeah, there's this weird like earnestness in it, you know, where
like he's just like, I'm gonna let down my family.
Yeah, and then the kid and him have all this drama, and like, I mean, LeBron's cool. I like LeBron. He's okay. Kid was all right. but neither of them are very good
No.
enough to sell
To carry a movie.
the
LeBron James
heavyweight.
blocking Bill Hader in a Amy Schumer movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. But like emotional weight, not really there. Yeah, man. Like even Don Cheadle, who I think is great.
Oh, I mean, he's standing
in.
in front of a green screen the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want him to do?
I know. I don't know. He did fine in the Marvel movies.
Sure, yeah, that is a lot of stand, but at least there was other people there.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like LeBron and him were never in the same room.
Dude, I would be surprised. I would be surprised if they actually were. Yeah, no, dude. I don't think he was ever in the same room as anybody, including the kid, which he shares several scenes with.
Yeah, it's like the whole Tig Notaro thing. They just put everybody in individually.
Yeah, what was that? Army of Darkness.
Yeah,
they
they
just
got rid of
photoshopped off,
Delilia, whatever.
Yeah.
And put her in.
And just inserted her in, and she never feels like she's there.
Yeah.
Or saying anything within context.
Yeah. It's not very good, but also we're not children. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know. I just, for me, like, ask for better if you have kids, you know? Like, if you're a kid, and if you are a kid and you're listening to this, your parents are bad parents.
Yeah, right. We put explicit.
Yeah, we put explicit. What are you doing? Fuck. Yeah, like if you're a kid, like demand better.
Yeah.
You know? Like you can have better.
True.
Don't watch it.
All right. Well, that's Space Jam out of the way,
Yeah.
and that's all it deserves.
Because there's nothing really there to
No.
talk about. It was
There's not. All right.
just bad.
We're gonna move quickly along to another children's movie, I guess.
Yeah, it's a family movie.
Sure,
I'd
a
say.
family
It's-
film,
yeah,
another
it's
family
yeah.
film. It's called Jungle Cruise, based off of the popular amusement park ride.
Yeah,
It's a winning formula.
it's worked before
It has worked before. All
several
right.
times.
Jungle Cruise, Josh. What did you think of Jungle Cruise?
That was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's
great.
not great.
Well, I think we put it perfectly after we watched it. It's not Pirates of the Caribbean 1 good,
Yeah.
but it's not every other Pirates movie bad.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not as good as Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's not as bad as Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't reach the heights of that franchise, but it goes nowhere near the lows of that franchise.
No. I think one of the things that I liked a lot about it, and you know, I dog on referential humor all the time, but there's a lot of very quick, very subtle homages to other movies in the same vein as the Jungle Cruise is. Like there's two very blatant ones that are Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Mummy.
The Mummy, yeah.
And then scattered throughout there's like some stuff from Alan Quartermain and a bunch of that other stuff. And
Yeah, it's
I
like
thought-
lending homage to homage because
But
they're not
it's-
rip-offs, but they were all rehashes of an
those
old 30
old
serials.
Pulp,
anyway.
those old pulp cereals and stuff. And they're never like glaring. Like it never feels like the movie stops to make this reference. You know,
They're not breaking
it
the
all
fourth
flows in.
wall.
Yeah.
They're actually just keeping the pace is good.
It feels like it belongs in the movie,
And the tone is right throughout. That's where Space Jam got it way wrong.
Oh, yeah.
The tone and the pacing was all over the place.
Yeah.
This movie knew what it was. It's pretty generic, but also, you know, that's what it's doing.
It's not shooting for the stars with that one. You're just supposed to have a good time for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, and it keeps it up.
But it was okay. My complaints for it, honestly, don't really have anything to do with the overall structure of the movie, the story, the acting. The acting was good.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's The Rock is charismatic. Emily Blunt is charismatic. They both fed off each other really well. Jeremy Plivens, is that his name?
I can't remember.
I can't remember his name. Kristen Dunst's husband. Very good actor. I've enjoyed him in a lot of the pieces he's been in. He was great in the Fargo show. But yeah, he plays the son of Kaiser Wilhelm, and he's barely in the movie, which sucks. But the scenes that he's in are fantastic. He's hilarious. He's very, very good in that role. He's just a wacky bad guy, and I thought he was great. But a lot of it just has to do with the fact that the heavy green screen and the fact that everything looks fake. Like everything that that Dwayne wears looks like a costume.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, like, you can put him in real clothes. Why does he always look like, but I mean, at the beginning it made sense because he's putting on a scam.
He's putting on
It's because the way the movie opens with his character is that he is running the scam that is the Jungle Cruise
amusement
like
ride.
Like he's even got like a early 1900s rigged up fake hippo robot. You know, that was pretty funny. But the whole back of water joke is in it and stuff, and it makes sense that he's wearing that goofy garish getup and stuff. But then, like, you watch the rest of the movie, and that's just what he is. And he's the only character where the costuming never works.
Yeah.
Because it always looks like he's just wearing a costume instead of clothes. Everybody else looks like they're wearing clothes, falls apart there. And the green screen, it's kind of like,
yeah,
I know you filmed in Hawaii, right? Was it Hawaii?
I think it was all mostly Hawaii or Atlanta, like usual.
But like,
it's
you can find great local. Like, I mean, they filmed
gotta
all of Lost.
I was going to say they got to make big outdoor sets and stuff like that, and I just don't know. The way these movies are made these days are a little different than even when the first Pirates movie was made. And I forget his fucking name, the guy who made those stupid Pirates movies.
Gore Verbinski.
Yeah, Gore Verbinski. He was the guy who was like, we have like Rube Goldberg machines and elaborate swinging on ropes and wacky stuff, and that was all very practical and a lot of stunt work,
swashbuckling,
and like that really brings you into it. But I don't know if like when they're starting previs on these movies a year before they start shooting, if like a director really can have too much of that. They had one or two when she's sliding down the rope and hits the things and does whatever.
That was a lot.
They had a couple little pieces, but
and
overall,
the little town that they were in at the beginning was really cool. I liked the village. That was kind of cool.
But overall, it's like that shit is kind of just out of their hands. Like the animators are working on that shit.
I know.
Before they even do the movie.
I feel like in a lot of cases in that, because I know Marvel does that a lot too, and I feel like they're putting the cart before the horse way too often, and you need to wait for the director's vision, wait for the art director's vision, wait for the people to build the movie before you build the movie, like how it seems like you're doing all the, well, this is all going to look cool, and then you're building the story around that. Don't fucking do that. Build the things that are going to look cool because the story needs that moment to look cool.
Because like I said, it's as much as I kind of make fun of Gore Verbinski's whole thing that he does in
it
every
all
movie
felt
he
like
ever
it
makes.
was in there.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
it's like it gets you into it. Like
that's what I mean.
It's a lot more than when you see. It's the difference between Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies when you're watching all the CGI of them falling down, and it's overly ridiculous. You want a little bit of realism.
It gets too cartoonish. Yeah.
And you want to supplement. You've got, not everything can be fucking Mad Max Fury Road, but also, but
not everything needs to.
They've already set a precedent for like how they film these types of movies. You know what I mean? These live action based on amusement park rides thing. And I feel like if you're not even living up to that, which had worse technology, because you're using more technology and it looks worse. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's like, yes, I agree with you, but it's almost just the fault of how big movies are made these days.
Oh yeah. No. And that's what I said. It's kind of nitpicky and stuff. So I guess it does speak to the structure of the movie, but I don't know, man. At the risk of sounding like a pretentious asshole, they call them special effects for a reason, because they're special, and it's, I don't know. I feel weird saying that, but at the same time, like I long for the day when we used to go places.
Yeah, it's like and not only that, like the movie was over 2 hours long, I believe. So,
it's long. It's way too long.
So a lot of those crazy CGI sequences are just padding at that point. So it's like
I mean,
then
nothing was garishly bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't Shia LaBeouf swinging on vines with a bunch of
No.
monkeys.
It's not that it looked bad, but you know that it's fake, and there was more of that than practical.
You
and
lose
since
a lot
the
of
movie
the-
was so long,
Yeah.
it didn't really add to the movie enough.
No, and you lose a lot of the drama and the weight of some of these,
Mm-hmm.
these, like, oh man, what if he dies? It's like I can blatantly see like that soft, outline,
The
around
soft
him.
dithering or like
Yeah.
the feathering they do around them on the
Yeah, like
when
she's
they
not
insert
really
them.
even in a giant jungle gym that you built in front of a green screen. She's literally jumping from 1 foot high platform to another
To
foot
another
high
one.
platform.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's come on, guys. Give me something. But overall, like I still enjoyed it because, like
Yeah.
you said, that's just the way movies are made now.
True,
And
and no,
you
and,
gotta-
but I do agree with you in the criticism.
Yeah, it's just I just miss when we, fucking that shit was great. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Orlando Bloom and what's his face were literally fighting on top of a big spinning wheel. You
Yeah.
know, that was pretty cool. In the Pirates movies, not in
Yes,
Jungle
no,
Cruise. Yeah, I lost where I was going because
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, I should separate that. But no, dude, one story complaint I will have is that, speaking of Pirates of the Caribbean, about halfway through, they
Yeah.
just take the story from Pirates of the Caribbean.
We're cursed.
Yeah, we're cursed, and I can't die,
and I'm
neither
part of
can
this,
they.
and I'm wrapped up with the bad people in some way, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do something smart to get away from them or
I
whatever.
do think that it was really funny at the beginning of the movie when we were sitting there watching it, and like I was sitting there listening intently to the intro music, and I was just like, is that fucking Metallica?
Yeah, right.
And I was like, that is Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. I don't know why that's in the movie. Like, why that specific song? Like, I know what the lyrics to Nothing Else Matters has to do with. It's a very depressing song. It has nothing to do with what's going on in this movie.
No.
I
Yeah.
will say it was used better than like Zack Snyder uses in classic
Yes.
movies, or was it Smells Like Teen Spirit in Black Widow?
Yeah, Black Widow used it as
God.
well.
Yeah. Jesus.
The characters were fun. The action, it was fine. It was either too CGI or fine.
Some of the more practical scenes were
Yeah.
pretty good, like some of the wacky stuff that would happen.
The dialogue was never ridiculous either. It was never. It was
But
fine.
props to Disney for finally giving us an actually openly gay character.
Yeah,
good for them.
Openly
for doing
gay,
their
like
thing.
supporting actor, not just in the background.
Yeah, not just some random character that kisses another woman or a guy.
Yeah,
or something
and
like
it
that.
actu-
And they're just like, see,
And it wasn't
diversity.
even like a token thing. It actually had like
There was actually a
weight to the
story
character
to
and the
it.
relationship
Yeah.
between him and his sister.
Yeah, his sister and,
and-
their whole family,
And how that all
basically.
kind of
Yeah.
worked out and what their deal was.
That was-
and
that
and
was,
she wears
It
pants.
was a nice little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The pants joke got real old fast.
A dame wearing pants.
Dame wearing pants. We're gonna get into dames wearing pants later on. Jesus Christ, that came out weird. I shouldn't have said it that way. I shouldn't have said it that way.
You know what? You do you, man. That's you do whatever you got to do.
Oh no.
Anyway,
But yeah, that was a big bold move, I think, for Disney. Finally, doing something right for that group. you know?
Yeah.
So good for them.
not just like I said, not just throwing in some weird like social media points token character in the background. Like, it was it's not, and it wasn't. Yeah, whatever. It was good.
Yeah.
The character, I liked his character.
Oh, his
good
character
enough.
was great. I not all of his jokes landed.
No,
but
as the comedic relief, it was
he's kind of
somewhat.
But that's kind of the
lacking.
whole movie. It's all kind of like it's all there.
It's all pretty close.
It's all there. It's all almost good. Almost
Yeah.
great because it is good. It's just it's a pretty run of the mill mediocre film.
Yeah.
It's better than The Lone Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as good as Pirates. What's the other one they did based on a ride? I know they're doing.
Dumbo. Wait, isn't Dumbo based on the movie The Ride?
Dumbo is based on the movie, and the ride.
Hey, how am I supposed to keep track of what was a ride first and what was a movie first?
I don't know, man. I just can't wait till we get It's a Small World.
Well, no, but bringing up Dumbo actually is a good thing to do because their live action properties have been crap as of late.
They're terrible.
And this is very good.
Yeah, they're awful. And but I feel like with the ride-based films that they're making, there's so much more room to play there because it's a very loose concept and you can build a story. When you're doing these god-awful live, we're like, oh, look, we did a thing that no one wanted us to do.
Yeah.
And like, oh, no, you like the old story? No, we're not doing that anymore. We're going to kind of do it, but it's really going to suck because we're going to try to modernize it or they fuck with the stories. And it's like, no, it was fine before. You know, if you're going to do that, leave it alone and just do new animation, you know? Like,
so the question is, at Disneyland or Disney World, wherever Jungle Cruise is, I think at both, are they going to change it like they did the Pirates of the Caribbean to now reflect the film?
Yeah, now
but what's the fucking difference?
Now every guy
Jungle
that drives
Cruise
the boat is just going to be fucking roided up. It's just super jacked. It's all guys, you know. And then, like, some lady with a terrible British accent wearing pants is going to swing on, you know, just doing a terrible imitation of a British accent is going to swing onto the boat randomly and be like, oh,
because until the end, all of the danger was manufactured.
Yeah, it was all fake.
Like, I'm like, so it's just the ride.
No.
They can't change the ride to reflect the movie because the movie was actually a pretty good reflection of the ride.
They'll just include a waterfall now and the boat just almost goes over it.
No, the way Disney does everything anymore, it's going to be screen-based. They make sure everything incorporates screens instead of real animatronics and stuff because then they can change it to whatever they want whenever they want. So it'll just be screens of 3D Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Hi, welcome aboard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Stupid. Anyway.
Will Hobbs and Shaw be available on while I'm waiting in line?
No, unfortunately. That's at Universal. The God, what? Yeah,
it Universal?
On the tour now at Universal Studios.
They've got all the cars
hosted by Jimmy Fallon. You go into one of the warehouses and there's a whole thing with Fast and the Furious, and Dom's like, we gotta go. Screen-based shit again. Yeah.
Is Dom? No, Dom's not even in it, dude.
No, Dom's in it.
Dom is in it. When I went, it was just T.I. and
Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez, I think.
You might be right, but I do think Dom was at least
there.
No,
you know what? I don't even think it was Michelle Rodriguez. I think it was
Gal Gadot.
No, it wasn't Gal Gadot either. I'm trying to think of who it was. Was it the girl from Game of Thrones? I can't remember if it was the girl from Game of Thrones or like Jordana Brewster.
Maybe,
or something
yeah.
Like
See, it's
that.
been such a long time since I've been on it. I don't remember. Maybe they've changed it.
I remember The Rock did like a couple like cell phone calls or something that. But then mainly it was just T.I. and I can't remember if it was. I really think it was Jordana Brewster. And they're like, "Oh man, Shaw's coming. We gotta go. We gotta go." And they're like, and they were always talking. When I did it, they were talking about Dom, like as in, "Oh man, Shaw's chasing Dom. We gotta get in the cars." And then like you never saw Dom, and then they like kind of shuffle off, you know, do. And they're like, "We gotta roll," and then something blows up on a screen, and I'm like, "Oh, this is dumb."
Put on your 3D glasses.
And I was like, "Really? You replaced the shitty earthquake part with this?"
The earthquake part was still there when I went, so I don't know. Shitty earthquake was still there, and it was like, ooh, hot fire.
I don't know. I get a lot of that confused because I remember
it's been changing, and they just do screens, so it could be different months apart. Who knows?
Well, and like I did the Transformers ride too, which is pretty much the same exact thing.
Yeah, Transformer. Yeah, there's some that are better than others. So like the Transformer ride was okay.
Some of the 4D was pretty cool.
Yeah, a little nausea-inducing, but like the Simpsons one was way worse. In terms of making you feel nauseous.
The Simpsons one actually made me sick.
Where you're not actually moving. Dude. We're getting way off track here.
We're talking about Universal Studios rides now.
Just like, God, who do these rides belong to anymore? But no, in terms of like they own some IP that's based on basically nothing, and then they can turn it into whatever they want. They did a good job.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll make a homage to the homages
I want
of
to
the
see
homages.
I want to see a teacup ride movie
Sure.
where somebody just gets shrunk down. They could combine it with Honey I Shrunk the Kids
Mm-hmm.
when they inevitably reboot that one.
I thought they were working on one.
That's one that I hear gets tossed around a lot, but I doubt they'll ever do it. And that would really suck too, because that movie's filled with practical effects and they're all pretty fucking sweet.
Yeah.
God, and it would just be CGI gross mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
God, that would be terrible. But yeah, this is okay.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It's a good watch. If you're like, what do I want to spend my money on?
You could do worse than Jungle Cruise.
You could do worse than Jungle Cruise for sure, and that'll just be on pretty soon. That'll just be on Disney Plus for free.
Yeah.
A lot like Space Jam, which will leave and then come back is how they do it, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Jungle Cruise. Why not? Don't make 4 more. But at least they didn't end it like they were gonna make more.
No, yeah, that doesn't matter, dude. They didn't really end Pirates of the Caribbean like they were gonna make more. They did like fucking Elizabeth and Will are happy, and Jack got his boat back, and he goes off to sail.
Sure,
that's the
true.
end of the fucking series. That's it, dude. And then they invented the rest of that shit.
That's true.
Especially
they'll be in London.
Then, like,
they'll be in London, and the Rock will be driving his motor car, and then it'll explode, and then fucking Shaw will come out and be like, "I'm going back to the jungle."
Yeah, because like the Mummy ended definitively.
Yeah, true.
And then like Pirates 3 is the end. Like that was the end, and then they literally are just making up the rest of these Pirates movies.
For years, I thought that the Mummy 2 was the Mummy 3.
I know.
Which is unfortunate.
I know. We've had that argument.
So I don't think I've seen the
times.
Mummy 3.
No. Yeah. No, I know you haven't. We've had several arguments.
I don't know. I haven't seen the second one. I've only seen the third one.
We've had several arguments over who the Scorpion King is. And don't.
So anyway, yeah, Jungle Cruise. We'll look forward to the fucking next one where they ruin it. Okay, where are we at in this fucking ride? Okay, before we get into the main event, I want to talk about, we're not missing a movie, right? No, we have one more to go into.
Yeah,
correct?
we got the big one.
Yeah. Okay, but before we do that,
wait, are we?
Yeah, I think we're done. We already talked about everything else.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, we had Space Jam,
Jungle Cruise. We didn't watch
the most recent one.
Yeah, the most recent one. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about a couple things, Josh. I want to talk about a couple things here. You never thought it would happen, but I have a television show that I just want to shout out. It's not a hot take or anything. Right. I think it gets like all the Emmy nominations or whatever.
Yeah.
But Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus.
I've been hearing a lot of praise for that. I'd never heard of it before, and then all of a sudden it was just Ted Lasso was everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Who the fuck is Ted Aslo?"
Who's Ted Aslo?
Who's Ted Aslo? I want him in my face. No, yeah, I had no idea. But I do like Jason Sudeikis.
Yes. And I don't know. I saw like bits and pieces and I was like, oh, like a sports thing. I don't care. I didn't pay much attention. But I had like a free, like we talked about when we talked about Bloodhound, I had like a free year Apple TV Plus, right? And then as usual, I just forget about it and then it charges me again. So I'm like, and see what's on there. I tried watching Mythic Quest. Not for me. I feel like people say it got better. I don't know. Whatever. After I watched the Beastie Boys and fucking Bloodhound, I was like, all right, never used it again. Ted Lasso starts blowing up, starts hearing about it. Brittany wants to watch it. And I'm like, okay, let's watch it. Let me tell you about this show. There's a reason that everybody's fucking talking about it. It is one of the most refreshing things that I've seen in a long time.
Really?
It is rated R. It's a mature thing, but it's just because that's how people generally talk who are adults. Like it's not because they're trying to be gritty.
Not like a gross out comedy or anything.
An adult, yeah, they're not trying to do any of that. It is
not your typical rated. It's like Silicon Valley.
Yeah. It is basically a show that's just about positivity, and all of the jokes and stuff usually just come about because like misunderstandings, some naivety there. This like it is a very fun show, very funny. It is still adult, yet somehow is not. It is a very positive, optimistic
It's
show.
not what you get when people normally say adult.
Yes.
They normally mean like, yeah, he's got a drug problem and he's murdered his wife.
Yeah, exactly. But there are still like relationship issues and stuff like that. But like, you're coming at it from a positive outlook.
That's cool.
And that's where most of the jokes come from. So here's the first season in a nutshell. Not the premise. There's something going on. There's a big divorce in this rich family who owns a football club in England, right?
Just a soccer club.
It's fine.
Just
it's called a football club, Josh.
It's actually called soccer. All right. This is America,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan. Okay. Football
So
is for big yoked up guys.
true. And also, I think Britain called it soccer before we did, but then we called it soccer, and then they were like, "Oh, we're going to start calling it football again because we don't want to be like them." But also,
take that, America. Still bitter over all that tea.
The joke that we don't use our feet, that you carry the ball in football, American football.
Yeah,
it's called football because it's played on foot and not on horseback. It's not. So this
is actually news to me because I never knew why we called it fucking football.
You're not really getting us there. There was a reason why it was called football when it was first, because it was a game that was played on foot, where typically you played stuff on horseback.
Wow, that is today I learned, man. I did not know that.
Like, again, I don't get defensive. I don't care.
Right,
but I'm like, but everybody but that joke is so tired. Like, yeah, whatever. Some people call it fucking soccer because we already have a football that's very popular over here. Get over it.
Dude, you blew my mind right now, dude. I seriously did not know that. I was like, okay. Like fucking Ryan with the goddamn Wikipedia knowledge.
So, yeah, I don't even know when I learned that a while back, and I'm just like, finally started to boil over. But anyway, there's ownership of this team is transferring. It's like the wife of the guy who totally sucks and whatever. And she's like, I'm going to hire this fucking coach who does like college football in the United States. All right, cool. So it's got a producer's vibe to it. Yeah. Basically, she's like, I hate my husband and I'm hiring this guy to destroy this team. That's the original. That's the typical premise. But he shows up and he's just like the nicest dude and basically makes everybody feel bad that they're treating him like shit.
So it's kind of like, for frame of reference, I've never seen the show.
Yeah.
So like for my frame of reference, kind of like Major League with the replacements.
Yes. Yeah. See, here's the problem, Josh. And this is what I told my wife as well, because she said the same thing when I was like, oh yeah, it's like a producer's type of thing, and she's like, like Major League.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've only ever seen Major League 2, so
it's the same fucking movie.
And I'm like, and I don't remember that from Major League 2.
But the whole premise was that she wanted the team to fail because she could make a shit ton of money.
I got it. Okay, I don't. I've only seen Major League 2, and I don't remember anything about it.
It's not a very memorable movie.
So, there we go. There's my confession. I haven't seen Major League. But I also
this man.
But I also hate baseball movies. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like Moneyball. That's the only one I like because it's not a baseball movie.
It really isn't. It's the business of baseball. It's a business film. Really, dude. So The Sandlot.
Okay. Well, The Sandlot really isn't a baseball movie either.
They spend the majority of their time playing baseball or trying to get a baseball back.
Exactly. It's more of a heist movie.
I'll hear. Okay. All right. No, I'll hear it.
It's more of a coming of age heist movie, Josh.
Okay. You know what? Okay. I got nothing for that, dude. It's a hot take, and I endorse it.
Perfect. So anyway, I'm trying not to say too much about the Ted Lasso, but that's the premise there, and you get some fish out of water. You get a lot of people who don't like Ted, but he's just a nice guy and he's just gonna try to do his best.
Sounds like it's a Zach Galifianakis movie,
right?
But actually worth watching.
Worth watching. It's
Zing. Got him.
The second season is going right now. I think the 4th episode came out today. So I've watched like 3 of those episodes. When you lose that original premise, because a lot of that shit gets resolved by the end of the first season. When you lose that original premise, I'm not sure if it works as well, but I haven't seen the whole season. And again, usually a show that comes out strong in the first season, it takes a while to get itself going again.
Yeah.
Unlike shows that like get good in the 3rd season.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear about because I loved Barry, and the first season was incredible. Second season is really good, but I don't know if I'm going to stick around for the rest of the show. Yeah. But Silicon Valley, same problem. They didn't get good again until their final season.
Really. Yeah, you're right. So my still, I'm still cautiously optimistic. You know how I feel about shows, but it was just it is a fun show to watch that doesn't make you feel like shit. You laugh, and that's all I really needed, and that's just so refreshing because like, how do you make that work? A lot of characters, a lot of adults, quote unquote, kind of problems, things. There's pro athletes and how they act, and lots of assistant coaches and their dynamics and this and this and that, and then the guy at the center, Jason Sudeikis, actually makes it work. Where he's not an idiot, he's just a
decent dude.
He's just a good dude. And he never stops. Like, not even once.
Pretty cool, man.
But at the same time, he's a fucking awesome dude, but like, him and his wife are just having some marital problems. It is what it is.
This actually sounds pretty sweet, dude. I didn't know anything about the show. I was just like, what the fuck is Jason Sudeikis doing? What the fuck is Ted Lasso? Why am I being inundated with Ted Lasso? I don't know who the fuck this is or what the hell is going on. But you're not the first person that I've heard talk about appraising it for its positivity angles and stuff, and how it's nice to see a comedy where not everybody is a douche.
Yeah. It's hard to even describe because I'm like, it kind of you know it when you see it type of thing.
It kind of makes me think of like how I felt about Our Idiot Brother. Like, I liked that movie a lot. I'm not going to say it's a good movie because it isn't, but like, it was good to see a dude just be kind of dumb, but overall just a really good, like, he wasn't deplorable, like just an annoying idiot. He was just a naive, good dude that was trying to do, just thought he was doing nice for everybody and ends up in a lot of trouble. And his family really fucking sucks, but that's kind of how I felt about that. It was good to watch a movie about a dumb person or whatever that was by and large just a good-natured dude doing his thing. I felt a lot of anyway. I felt the same way.
Exactly. So that's basically all I wanted to say about that. Is there's a reason people really like it, and if you think like it's like a dumb sports thing or it's going to be this feel good, like, sure, it makes you feel good, but it's not a sappy feel good thing. It's just how the characters, and especially the main character, approaches like pretty down to earth, like adult type problems.
There's actual like real problem solving instead of like,
And it's not just like the power of positivity. It's his positive outlook and what he does with such.
Like he's just coming at things with a good head on his shoulders, and then
it's not the song "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Yeah, it's not saccharine.
It's not just things are working out for him because he's a happy idiot. It's different, but there's a reason everybody's talking about it. It's super good, and I don't like shows, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this whole show right now.
Well, now I don't want to talk about the comedy that I was gonna talk about because it's filled with pieces of shit.
What? Did they used to be pieces of shit, or are they currently pieces of shit?
No, they used to be a piece of shit.
Do you want to talk about that?
I figured you would. I do. I genuinely thought you were going to talk about it.
No, I really do.
When you brought up, you were like, it's a show. And I was just like, oh, okay, he's going to talk about it.
I really do, but it's hard to...
Yeah, because it's a
Explain.
sketch-based show.
Yeah. Without being
we're talking about
referential.
I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. And the first season is kind of hit or miss. It's not really good. The second season, however, is solid all the way through.
Very solid,
funny.
very funny.
Shut the fuck up, dog.
Yeah, there's just like there's two styles of comedy that I feel like they get in there. There's either
Wacky.
really wacky or screaming obscenities, which is like my vibe. Like I'm just like he's just screaming obscenities when he shouldn't, and that's why it's funny.
Right? Yeah. No, I'm there with you because like sometimes that really drives me nuts, and other times I'm like,
and then
he shouldn't be doing that.
And then
right
there's
now.
like, and then the other style of skits they do is the kind of like, this is a normal situation, but one person's acting kind of weird.
Yeah, but one person's bizarre.
Yeah.
The Calico Cut Pants sketch is one of my very favorite things of all time. You gotta give, man. A lot of people give.
Calico Cut Pants is Ghost Tour for me because I'm an idiot.
Ghost Tour was pretty damn funny. And then I don't know what it was. The Dan Flash's skit is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me.
And references to, and they made fun of Impractical Jokers.
They did, yeah. That was really funny,
and that one was really funny.
It's funny
as well.
because that skit isn't very funny. It's because there's not a lot of jokes.
No,
but it's the whole premise of it where it's just like, what do you want to just do something else? Yeah, I think we should just do something else, man. Well, then what's the skit? And he's like, oh god,
what's the show?
Yeah, what's the show then? Yeah, that everything of just the existential crisis that happens, the identity problem that he has. Like, I don't want to be this guy.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah. So we'll just use this one to spoil. Fuck it. Because like at the beginning, it's the typical Impractical Jokers. I'm going to go in there. He's a bit of a character. And then like looking at the prosthetics, wow, I'm going to look crazy. Then they're shitty.
Yeah. Oh, they're so terrible. They're awful. Like it made me think of the mask that Ryan Gosling wears in Drive.
Yep.
The stunt guy mask that he wears. Yeah. Except it's a whole body suit and it's so bad and everybody's just staring at him and he's like, I can't fucking breathe.
Yeah, he's like, go do this. You know, they're on the comms like Impractical Jokers. And he's just like, no, I'm going to rip the fucking head off. I can't breathe.
I'll rip the head off. It's hot in here. I can't breathe. And they're like, what? And he's like, I'm going to rip it off. You're going to rip your head off? Yes. I just don't want to live.
Yeah, the joke now is that there's a real guy in here. Okay, yeah, that could work. I'm not doing it. I don't even want to be around anymore.
What, like?
It turns from
like
excited
alive?
about this fucking skit to I want to kill myself because I'm in this suit.
I can't believe I did this. Yeah, no, it feels like.
And the funniest part about it is that they clearly actually did it.
Oh yeah,
like Impractical Jokers, where they were in a mall.
Yeah.
And people didn't know what was going on. They were not extras. So he's sitting there talking to himself.
Well, dude, and I think that's what makes it so funny. Because like I said, it's not a lot of good jokes or anything.
No.
But it feels very real. Like just one of the Impractical Jokers or like Jamie Kennedy or any one of those stupid prank shows just suddenly had like a self-realization in the middle of the skit and was just like, sucks. What am I doing?
Yeah, go kick her table. Why? What'll that do for the greater good? It's funny. Why? Because she's alone?
Why? Because she's alone?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the funniest, but it's just, I hate Impractical Jokers so much. And it felt so, like you said, so real, especially because I think they filmed it like a prank show.
Yeah. It is the most clever of the skits. It's
You're
really,
saying Dan Flash's isn't clever?
Look, man, they got wild patterns. Ryan, they got a shirt. It's over $2,000. The patterns are so crazy.
This is why it's hard. This is why it's hard to talk about because you just want to quote it.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. Please check it out. It's in contrast to what Ryan said because everything is loud and bad. And I just said sometimes you get tired of watching that, and then I've watched that show a couple times.
I've watched it a couple times myself. It is very funny. It's just been a treat. I've just been finding freaking I Think You Should Leave and Ted Lassos and Space Jams. It's been awesome.
Yeah, that comedy classic Space Jam that will definitely last the span of time. You know what's funny is I after watching that movie, I reflected upon the original Space Jam and realized I don't fucking remember anything about that movie.
No, I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but at least it was Looney Tunes. You know what I mean? Like
They were barely the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, but they did Looney Tunes
movie.
stuff.
Kinda.
And he's like, I'm going to teach you how to play basketball. You know what the main thing was, Josh, is that Lola Bunny was hot in the original Space
That's
Jam.
what the big issue with Space Jam 2 is that Lola Bunny is not an attractive bunny, and I can't.
You just got to go watch Zootopia. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I guess I'm just stuck with the original Space Jam and Zootopia and all the Sonic the Hedgehog porn that's on the internet. God damn it. What?
All right, let's move on from that.
This is such a... It's so weird. Why does this shit exist?
I don't know. I don't know why it exists.
I'm sorry. I had a bit of a moment there.
Okay, let's get to the main show, the newest release, as it were.
Marvel's What If.
Marvel's What If. You want to talk about Marvel's What If first? I forgot we do have a third show. Josh, what if the Hulk had to take like a huge shit?
What if Tony Stark had diabetes?
Oh shit, that would change everything.
I was very excited for the What If show. Mm-hmm. Because the comics were so fucking crazy. They were so weird because they took things that you knew, established characters, established story arcs, and they twisted them. Mm-hmm. And there's one that was really, really good. There was what if the Fantastic Four didn't get hit by cosmic rays? They still fucking accomplished everything they did, but they advanced humankind with all their science and stuff like that. And there was a golden age of technology. And I feel like we need to ask those questions within the MCU. What if Winter Soldier hadn't killed Howard Stark? Mm-hmm. Would we have the technology and the science to combat Thanos when he eventually comes here? Because he is inevitable.
True.
What if Tony Stark's celebrated and undealt with PTSD and resulting hypervigilance created a world-conquering tyrant out of Tony Stark? What if in his deranged mentality that he took over the world?
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Those are the cool questions.
What if this or this did or
what
did
if
not
Loki
happen?
won?
Yeah, those are the questions where I thought that show, and based on the comic, I thought that's where it was going. But it seems like there is what if
one character was another character.
Like this or like this.
Yeah, and what we got was what if Peggy Carter was Captain Britain?
Yeah, whatever.
I guess.
Captain Carter. Yeah.
Captain Carter. What if Peggy Carter was Captain Carter?
I believe it was what if Captain Carter. What
if Peggy Carter were the super soldier?
Yeah.
Great grammar, guys.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Fuck me. No, and the answer is pretty much the same thing that happened when Steve was.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like
the big. Okay, so early on.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, early on, you're like, okay, this is interesting because she's treated this way because she's a woman, and then it leads to. I was
going to get into that.
It leads to what would happen with Steve and blah blah blah. But once that's done, it goes on for a ways, and then the interesting part of what that would have an effect on the bigger world, then it ends.
Yeah, because she just gets stuck in time like Steve did, and then comes out in a different way. But it wrapped up the same way, except that now Steve is old and she's young in the future.
But and also in a scene where typically that's where Loki would have come through.
Yeah.
So, that's the interesting part.
Which brought to my mind a question, how did Loki get stuck in the Tesseract?
Yeah. Did Steve continue his Iron Man-ness?
Yeah,
you know
did
what
he
I mean?
Keep being the Hydra
What does that have
Stomper?
to do? What does that do for Tony and his dad and all those things? And I know the focus is on her, but once that's taken care of, explore what that means.
Well, yeah, exactly. That what should have been was you get the setup. She becomes a captain.
Did he start S.H.I.E.L.D.? You know what I mean?
Yes. What we should have got was we just should have got the setup. Now she's the super soldier, and then everything changes. They changed it immediately. They got the Tesseract from Red Skull immediately.
She just went and killed everybody.
And then it seemed like they were like, well, we don't want to deal with the fact that we have a socio-economic world-changing event where a woman is the greatest soldier of all time. They don't deal with that. Like that would affect so much shit. You know, they could have dealt with the fact that they were trying to bury the fact that it was a woman the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, they could have done something like that. They could have introduced another villain. You didn't have to end it the same way that Captain America ended.
Like early on, it made sense where like she got more done early on because Steve was a fucking soldier and he would listen to orders, and it took him a while to be like.
And she was a much more proactive, well-trained. Yeah.
Yes, and that
she knew what she was doing, but also they did not set up the shield. She did not need that shield. They should have given her.
They showed
weapon.
her throwing weights, but like she needed to have the shield.
Yeah.
But it made no sense that he gave her the shield because in the first Avenger he was using a shield anyway. Doesn't matter.
I did love, like, I don't know if I was supposed to laugh at it, but I thought it was funny that Howard Stark just randomly pops into a scene and he's like, I've got this stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Later.
Goodbye.
It served no purpose.
So
until the end.
Like I said, they did that stuff very well where you're like, okay, yeah, like this is the difference if, you know, it was Captain Carter, not
I know
Captain America. And it's like, cool. All right. Now it's taken care of. And then it became like, then it became Time Machine for some reason, where it's like, no, they just weren't meant to be together no matter what. I'm like, that's the angle we're going with.
Yeah.
That they still can't be together and she's gonna get trapped in time.
Yeah. It was dumb.
Why did we? I'm like, we
made
Steve Rogers Iron Man, and we're not even going to address it.
If they were going to, well, see, that was the thing. Like, I thought Steve was going to die in that explosion at the beginning. And I thought Howard was going to take over that role. And I was like, well, that's really interesting. Just a world without Steve. And does Sharon live up? And I know it's a 25-minute episode, but if they hadn't dedicated so much time to poorly animated action scenes and redoing the first movie, you could have explored that much in 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It did to offer a contrast. And I'm not waving a DC versus Marvel flag here or anything like that, but in an episode of Justice League Unlimited, Superman gets thrown into an alternate universe where he grew up on Krypton. Krypton never exploded. He had a family. He had a child. And at the end, he realizes that it's all fake. It's a hallucination. And then you deal with the consequences of that. And that all happened in the span of 25 minutes, you know, and there was a lot of cool action that happened outside of his hallucination with Wonder Woman, Batman, and Mongol. It was a really cool episode. You could do a lot of good story in 25 minutes with this alternate scenario. They didn't do it. They just made the same movie again.
Yeah, no,
but
exactly.
A lesser version.
Exactly. And I know it's supposed to be about her, and I keep going like, we need to learn about Steve and do this and this. But
but we didn't learn anything.
We
about
learned
her.
the consequences with her early on, and then instead of exploring the ripples that caused, it was just like, and now she is just going to switch roles with him in time. And it's like, well, now you're kind of, now you're making her have his story, which earlier on you were doing. It was cooler where she got shit done better than he did.
Yeah, she got shit done quicker. Yeah.
And that was fun. So I'm like, you ruined it by making her just do what happened to Steve in a different way, where you could have that took away from her more than exploring what happens with Steve and Stark would have.
Like we made the joke that it was, you know, like what if Captain America had like a uterus?
Yeah.
You know, and that was literally, I feel like the whole thing, like they wrote an idea kind of off of, but that was the main driving force. They were just like, what if Captain America had lady parts? And they're like, brilliant. What do we do? I don't know. We'll just make Captain America, but now it's a lady.
Okay, Josh, hear me out on this though. And this sucks because we'll have to watch the whole thing for this to possibly happen.
Oh no.
All of these episodes culminate to an ending episode that actually shows a world where all of these what ifs in one world. All of these what ifs happened, and now this is the world in which all of those things did happen.
DC's Elseworlds did that, which was their version of what if, and it was really, really good. A couple of the rando one-offs that they did all culminated in like a Justice League or something like that for Elseworlds. That was pretty cool. And I think that's an interesting idea. I don't want to be on board for it because
it's a long payoff.
Yeah,
Payoff.
I mean, because it's what's the difference, man? Like, I mean, the next one I think is like, what if Black Panther became Star-Lord, and it looks like Killmonger's in charge of Wakanda, and I know how it's going to end. He's going to come back and he's going to be both Star-Lord and Black Panther. Story's over.
Yeah.
Real crazy, right, guys? No. What if Black Panther died in that trial with Killmonger and Killmonger runs that shit? And what happens when Thanos shows up? Is Killmonger's fucking Wakanda going to work with the Avengers or the world at large? Probably not. He's going to go isolationist. You know, I just...
Yeah, there are 2 episodes of Futurama that are better than... that do a better job than what this is doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What if I wouldn't have got sent back to the future or sent to the future?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. It
has
just,
ramifications.
I just wish
World
that there
explodes.
was... Yeah, exactly. Shit goes down. It sucks. He's not there to stop the brains.
But yeah, they're just changing the characteristics of a character.
It's a palette swap.
Instead of what if event didn't happen, which is what you would expect them to do.
Yeah.
It's weird.
There's just
It's
so
weird they
much
did that.
potential, even within the limited characters and storylines that we've got within the MCU. There's so much that, like, what if Thor didn't get everybody back together to go punch Hela in the face? Like, what happens then? You know, there's so many, like, what if Winter Soldier did kill Cap in that fight aboard that helicarrier? What happens with Hydra? Hydra just continues to exist and takes over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a Hydra ruled, a Man in the High Castle style shit.
Exactly.
Hydra ruled.
Things like that are good ideas to explore, and this just seems so safe and unoriginal and stagnant. I
liked the concept.
I want to see
initially.
what's going forward.
Yeah, I liked the concept initially because I'm just like, oh, Steve is still around, so that changes their relationship. And one person, they both had a lot to do with what was going on in the MCU once we got to Avengers times. Like, because like one of them made S.H.I.E.L.D. and one of them is Captain fucking America. So like the fact that like that changed that dynamic, but then they were like, we're just gonna do the same thing again.
And I feel like we're maybe wrong in judging the show off of one episode. But the trailer didn't give anything that was just like, wow, that looks like a crazy take on something. It was just like, what if this guy's this guy? And what if this girl's this guy? And what if this girl was this girl? It's just like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Like,
like Peggy was really big.
That was it. Yeah. Peggy got really big and punched stuff really hard. They really celebrate her murder.
No, she like double kicked some guys just because fuck you.
Dude, yeah. She threw a bunch of dudes against the wall. One of them fell down and she kicked him back against the wall.
Yeah, she kills Hydras and Nazis.
She threw a motorcycle at a guy.
Yeah, and he exploded.
Dope as hell. I'm not going to lie. Really cool.
No, she tore shit up.
But at the same time, they're playing this jaunty tune in the background and she's like smiling the whole time. And I'm like, you don't understand either Peggy Carter or Captain America.
But I don't know. Killing Nazis is like the only time you're allowed to just celebrate ultra violence. It's like it's everybody accepts it as fine.
Well, which I think we will address in the next segment.
Sure.
But yeah, man, I don't know.
We'll check back in with
what
this
if
one. We'll give it a couple more.
Yeah. What if just kind of gave me a what if I don't watch this anymore?
Yeah. Luckily, it's 30-minute episodes. And
it's not like it's a big fucking dedication.
It could give us stuff to make fun of at the very least.
But
yes, their level of thinking is like, what if Iron Man had diabetes?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that was we've been making jokes ever since where we're just like, what if Iron Man like broke his wrist?
Yeah.
Like what if Bruce Banner had a tummy ache?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah. What if like every time he turned into the Hulk, he had to take a huge shit?
I think the most funny one that I came up with was the one I did today, where I was like, "What if Captain America was like a gerbil?" And you're like, that actually sounds fun.
Would be good. Yeah, because you got some Spider Ham shit going on.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like what if Spider-Man was actually a spider? Like it's just the animal Avengers. I would have been about it. Does it have any real like consequences? Like, whoa, this is crazy to explore, but it's
at least fun.
Like you're like Thanos just getting punched in the face by a gerbil. That's hilarious. I'm on board for it.
Yeah, one of the other things they didn't really explore is apparently without Steve becoming Cap, him and Bucky not great friends.
Yeah. He was just kind of like, yeah. Bucky was
I
pretty
know
much
that
there.
guy.
Yeah, Bucky was pretty much just there to deliver terrible jokes.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal was.
God, dude. Yeah, and I don't know like if they had separate directors for the voice actors or what, but man, whoever was making Sebastian Stan do those lines, he did not want to be
They're
there.
like happy, and he's like, I don't do that so good.
I'm not a happy guy. I've been playing the Winter Soldier for forever. I'm so miserable. My heart hurts. But yeah, dude, yeah, him and Steve not that tight. And I was like, really? Because when they left, they seemed like they were pretty tight.
They were tight. Yeah, I mean, they didn't see each other again until he was trying to kill him. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we'll check back in on that one. But staying on
superhero
nonsense. Suicide Squad, the reboot of
Right.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. The one that came after Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is when you look it up online, I think it's the only one that pops up right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's like the only one that
Nobody
pops
cares about that other movie.
up. No.
I don't remember that.
Ryan, what did you think of Suicide Squad?
It was really good. It was actually really good. I was going to be mad, and I didn't want to watch it. And I hated Harley Quinn, especially after watching Birds of Prey, and it made me angry. And then it did not remind me of any of those films. It did not remind me of Suicide Squad, did not remind me of Birds of Prey, didn't remind me of shit. It was just a pretty good James Gunn movie, and also the marketing that I hated so much was just playing into a joke at the beginning of the movie. And then it became a different movie, and it was very enjoyable. I don't want to see more. I'll say that, but I thought that the movie was very good. What did you think, Josh?
I hated it.
Yeah, did you?
I hated it because I loved the shit out of it. It was so fucking good.
Yeah, it was really good.
I am in the opposite boat. I am hoping that we do get another James Gunn Suicide Squad movie.
Okay.
I hate it because I'm just like, why can't I get a Guardians like this?
Right,
You know,
right,
like
yeah.
stop this fucking PG-13 bullshit, because Guardians of the Galaxy that he based it off of, the DNA Cosmic, is not PG-13.
No.
It is a soft R, but it is a rated R comic. Fucking Nova rips Annihilus' guts out of his fucking mouth. He reaches down his throat and rips it out by his tongue. It's horrifying. They routinely set Groot on fire. Star-Lord gets tortured like brutally. Like he's barely alive in the comics. Comics are fantastic. Hit me at me. I'll talk to you about the DNA Cosmic all day long. It was the best comic series, and Marvel canceled the fuck out of it, and it makes me so angry still to this day, and it's been like 10 years.
You seem angry.
No, I loved this movie. I thought it was
it's
a
really good.
brilliant dark comedy. I loved Rick Flagg's character in the movie. I actually liked Idris Elba's character in the movie.
Same.
Harley Quinn did not annoy the shit out of me, and I fucking hate Harley Quinn. And I didn't used to, and I always feel bad about that because I don't
they
like
tried to
Margot
ruin
Robbie's
her.
Harley. She's becoming like the Wolverine
Yeah.
kind of like poster child. Like fucking the other day I was on my comic book app reading comics, and there was just like 100 different Harley Quinn led titles, and I was just like, yeah, she's their Wolverine now.
Yeah, and
It's like her and Batman.
Yeah, he did a good job with her because I hated her so much in Birds of Prey.
I hated her. I hated her in Suicide Squad, the original, and I hated her even more in Birds of Prey.
Yeah, and the concept in Birds of Prey was actually okay. The fact that
the idea
she's out of
is-
prison now, and she's going around being obnoxious like she is, but everybody thinks it's the Joker's girl, so they don't fuck with her. And then they find out she's not the Joker's girl.
Yeah,
and it's on.
and you should still not fuck with her.
Yeah, so-
no, there's a great.
it's a bad
that's
movie.
the problem with a lot of the DC movies. Is that great idea is terrible execution.
Yes.
No,
but the way he treated her in this, like she facilitated her own escape at a certain point, because I was like, it's kind of weird they got to go rescue her. I feel like people who are really into that character wouldn't like it, and then they did it almost perfectly.
oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
She just comes walking out of the door. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And they're just like, we had a really good plan.
Yeah.
And he's just. I just love the way Idris Elba looks in that scene because it's so ridiculous. He's just in there looking like Dom from fucking Fast and the Furious with that comic book guy helmet on,
yeah.
and he's just like half rappelling up the. He's just like,
Yeah.
No,
It's a super good plan.
I think the only thing I didn't like about the movie was Ratcatcher 2.
Yeah.
I got so tired of her character real fast. I mean, not because she was the only wholesome member of the team or anything like that, just because she just
Yeah.
she's not she didn't really do anything, man. And then she just kind of sits around and looks really sad most of the time.
Well, she's sad. Her dad was
Taika
Taika Waititi.
That should make you the happiest person on the face of the planet. He was really funny in the movie too. The brief parts he was in.
His little bit.
His little bits, yeah. And I liked I did like the kind of almost Disney princess-esque bit there where they're sitting on top of the building together and stuff. I thought that was a really cute thing. But no, I loved this movie so much. It is violent, it is funny, and it's not stupid funny. Like, I mean, and it's
not.
That's the one thing that like the one complaint I would, because I'm going to compare and contrast a lot between Guardians and this,
sure.
and I feel like
of course
that's implied. You're supposed to,
mm-hmm.
Especially since that was what they were going for. I feel like they pulled up. James Gunn got to do what he wanted to do with the Guardians in this, because Guardians, the humor can get. I love the Guardians movies. I'm on record as saying it, and I'm still a fan for what they are, but a lot of the jokes in Guardians are pretty fucking stupid. There's a lot of stupid humor that is very forced and very, this is what this scene is about. And in this, a lot of it the humor seems to emerge naturally from the story. The only time that it was gross was, like you said, when they were doing all the material for the trailers and stuff, and the whole weasel joke thing. I was really fucking glad to see that thing drowned.
Yes. So that's the main thing is I was like, this movie's going to be too much. There's too much going on. I think it's going to be fucking dumb. And then it's like, yeah, it's dumb and we're killing it.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, no, it celebrates its camp and its stupidity. It's so good. It's wonderful.
So, but spoiler alert, just spoilers. Fuck it. You can watch it for free.
No,
not for free, but if you have HBO, you can watch it at home. This gigantic team that they've been touting in the material, in the marketing material,
80% of them die.
They just die
first
immediately.
10 minutes. It's not even 10 minutes. It's probably the first 2.
It's seriously like 5-6 minutes.
Dude, nothing made me happier than watching Pete Davidson get his face blown off.
Pete Davidson gets shot in the face.
Happy. It's crazy how
Nathan
quick
Fillion.
I love the way that they opened it too, with Michael Rooker's character and everything, and you feel like because like, the way the trailers were, it felt like Idris Elba was going to be the big guy. And he ends up being the main guy, your gateway into this film. But the way he set it up, you feel like, oh shit, maybe that was a thing. Now we're getting Michael Rooker instead as Savant, and you're with him and all these fucking retards, and he just looks like a weathered old. Yeah. He's been at this game for way too long. He just doesn't want to be in jail anymore. So I had a feeling like if he got his freedom, he would have retired, or something like that. And fucking, I liked the way that it started because, I mean, you get a little bit of the whole like, oh yeah, all these people are fucking dead.
Yeah, of course.
Like you get a bit of that, but like with him, I really thought he was gonna be him and Harley. I was like, because they're not gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah, Harley's not gonna die. Yeah.
But like, I love thinking about the movie afterwards. I was like, she put Flag and Harley on there because she knew that Harley'd already escaped her a couple times, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
And Flag was too true blue. Flag was a good dude.
Yeah.
He was not going to let this sit. He was supposed to die on that beach, too. Amanda Waller is a huge pile of shit, and she always has been. Yeah, and I love that they did that in this movie because she is she's getting worse and worse and worse. And she's always been terrible, a horrible human being in the comics. Amanda Waller is a terrible person, and first movie, she seemed kind of like, oh yeah, I do what I want. And in this one, it's like James Gunn was like, no, she's the worst, and I'm going to make her the worst.
Yeah, and she was. I mean, I agree with you there. I was thinking about how that made sense as well. I was like, she must have just thought like, fuck them, they can die. But if you remember, she sent the Team B to go get him. to go rescue him,
Because
which
I
is
feel
one of
like-
the best bits in the whole
my
fucking
God.
movie.
But I feel like that plays into Peacemaker's storyline because she still had Peacemaker.
Oh, true.
on
He was
side-
still
on
there.
side,
Yeah. Which, dude, John Cena
Dude, killing it.
killed it.
Killing it. He was fantastic in this movie, and we talked so
Yeah,
much
he
shit
was
about him.
so bad in Fast and Furious.
I feel like he didn't want to do that fucking movie, dude. I'll be honest. I feel like he was all about. He's like, this seems like fun. I'm gonna have a look at my stupid costume. This is so dumb. I'm gonna have so much fun doing this.
True.
And he was great.
He was good.
He was great. I loved Peacemaker.
Yep.
King Shark out there breaking my heart.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he was so happy he found friends, and then they tried to
They
eat
tried
him.
to eat him immediately.
The betrayal, man. Yeah, dude, it was just, it never loses pace,
No.
and it is a longer movie,
Mm-hmm.
but it never loses pace. You never feel that time. One complaint about some of the visuals in the movie, which are spectacular. This is the most, outside of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I think this is the most ambitious looking comic book movie made.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm not really counting Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in this because this was live action.
Yeah.
But the whole fight scene between Rick and Peacemaker that takes place in Peacemaker's helmet after, and I felt like that was some kind of like symbolism going on there about how a Peacemaker said his helmet is a symbol of liberty, and
Yeah.
fucking Rick's fighting for freedom and Peacemaker's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great fight. It's just the fight and the reflection was great. The whole Harley escape scene, which is my point. I'm going to get to in a second here. There was some other shit that was just off the wall. I can't think of right now.
Might have just been my HDR on my TV was a little weird, but the beginning bit was really dark.
No, it was it was dark on my screen.
It was like a
too.
little
Yeah.
dark, a little too dark for I think maybe streaming. I don't know how it would look in the theater, but
Yeah.
that was my only complaint with the visuals because you're right. It was a very well shot movie. Very well shot.
And it's just the structure. At one point in her scene was when she's walking down the hall with the machine guns and she's got the butterflies and the birds and the flowers bursting out of her. We needed a wide, long shot of her down that hallway with like that shit just coming out of her instead of just watching it fly behind her while she's sitting there shooting. We needed like some kind of like, holy Madonna of her walking down the picture with that shit just and all the fucking, it was great. I loved it.
I love the way you're right. The movie is very well shot. That stuff was really cool. Those sequences were very good. The bar they were in when they were hanging out, I thought that shit looked cool too.
That was really good.
The little costume changes they did and stuff, and you were still able to recognize everybody in that crowded room. They did a lot of good snap zooms and stuff to where you could see where everybody was, and it's hard. It's really hard in a comic book movie with a lot of characters to like, who does this really bad? Michael Bay.
Yes.
But to understand where everybody is in space, and he does it very, very well.
He did I was gonna say everybody. Where everybody is and what everyone is doing at all times in the action sequences and just in the big ensemble scenes and stuff. I loved everything from Polka Dot Man's point of view whenever that happened, and whoever they got that woman to play his mom.
Yeah.
Just
shit was hilarious.
That was especially, dude. The one that got me was the disco scene where he's dancing.
Yeah.
On the dance floor, he's doing the disco moves, and every woman around him is his mother, and it just it wasn't a gimmick because the first time they did it, I was like, all right, that's funny. I didn't expect that to be a running thing.
Yeah, or literal because you don't see it until after he mentions it because he tells what's her name she's like, where are my men? He's like, I made them my mother and murdered them.
I made them my mother and murdered them. They drop it like that, and then he's explaining his pretty sad story.
Yeah.
I did not know that about Polka Dot Man. I don't know shit about Polka Dot Man.
Who knows?
It
They
seems
could've
like
made
a
it up.
wacky fucking Grant Morrison character, so who knows? And then when they're telling his story about his mom was trying to create superheroes and stuff, and they're like, holy shit, what happened to your mom?
Yeah.
And he's just, where's your mom? And then he just goes, everywhere. And
Yeah.
then he cuts to his shot, and they're all his mother. And I'm like, fuck, dude, this guy's
He's fucked
fuck,
up. Yeah.
And then I did love the whole, like, Boca, that's your mom. And it's just, roar.
Very good.
Starro felt earned.
Oh, yeah.
And I love Starro. I think Starro is a very cheesy looking villain with a very, very horrific power.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, I feel like that Starro has the face huggers from Aliens are, I feel very much inspired by that. I don't know if the writer of Aliens was a comics fan, but yeah, man, that's horrible. That is terrifying.
It is,
and I
yeah.
think in the comics, if you defeat Starro, like those starfish just fall off. I liked that in
this one that they're just husks.
they're just
Yeah.
fucking dead. That's it. That thing hollows out your skull and becomes you.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's handled in the comics, but I've always thought Starro was scary. And apparently James Gunn was terrified of Starro.
I was gonna
too.
say, my wife was like, the more I like, the next day I was just like, yeah, I just found it very disturbing.
He's
At the
scary,
end,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that they did that. They used, and there's some precedent there because he was the Justice League's first villain, I think, back in the day when they first showed up. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, I loved it. Just obscure characters, and that was the reason I loved Guardians. When Guardians first showed up in the comics, I was tired of fucking reading main characters, and at that point in time, all these stupid events were happening in comics, and they were all just constantly beating each other up, and I was sick of it. And I was like, what the fuck is this Annihilation shit? Oh, Nova's in it. I remember him from New Warriors. Okay. Started reading it, and then eventually that led to Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning's Guardians of the Galaxy, spun off from the Star-Lord Annihilation comic that was really fucking good too. And they were all just like, I was like, I don't even know who this fucker is.
Yeah,
Who the fuck is Rocket Raccoon? And like the whole time I'm watching this movie, I was just like, who the fuck is Peacemaker?
Yeah,
Who
right.
the fuck is Blackguard? You
Yeah.
know, I was just like,
But
so
the
I
thing
was
is,
sitting
is
there
that,
and
like,
I was like Googling these dudes while I was watching the movie, and it was like, they all felt like they belonged there. It never felt.
And they did a good job in the movie itself. Like, dude, the very quick intros to all these characters, even the ones who have immediately died.
Yeah.
But they all, like, you got who they were.
Yeah.
Like, some of them we already knew, of course, but then the main team, Team B, the main team, like, yeah, they somehow managed to, like, even while action's happening, them talking to one another and what they're doing, you get what their deal is, and you get how this is probably gonna go.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, the fucking, I always talk about like, oh, Marvel fucking earned this or that because you have a whole movie to set up a character, and it's like, I don't know, man. I guess if you know what you're doing and don't just get a guy who's going to do whatever you say, who's done one feature film before, and you have the whole CGI department make the movie first, like, you have room to really develop some characters that nobody knows.
No, well,
and make
I
you
feel like
and
I feel like
understand
it even
them.
shows how wrong Zack Snyder was, where he's like, I have like a villain, I have like 4 characters that have never been seen. The entire team.
Yeah, again, like
aside from Rick Flag,
like I said,
Harley Quinn, and Captain Boomerang.
Like I said, this movie did not make me think of any other DC movie or the Suicide Squad or any Marvel movie, and I was just like, good.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
Yeah.
That's really good what you said right there, because it doesn't feel like it belongs anywhere. It feels like he made up his own superhero. It feels like a movie.
It feels like a movie.
There is a James Gunn feel to this movie. There's not a DC feel to this movie. There's not a Marvel feel to this movie. It is just a James Gunn movie with characters that James Gunn probably could have made up himself.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, just a fantastic movie, dude. All the way around. It is without a doubt my favorite DC film.
Oh. Yes.
I know you were up there for Shazam.
I like Shazam, but like, it's Shazam.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, talking about visuals, Shazam had a lot of personal identity to it.
Yes,
as well.
it did. Yeah. Another filmmaker who I don't like most of his stuff.
No.
But like even his style was able to shine through in that movie because he's a horror director.
Yeah.
And they had probably a very horrifying bits in that movie.
It's
so
some
like
pretty fucking freaky bits where I was like, "Oh, is this a kids movie or what?" Jesus.
But this movie is just really good. And like you said, this could have been a standalone thing. So it being called Suicide Squad is kind of unfortunate. I mean, it's brand recognition, but sometimes it's not the brand you want. Man.
No, dude.
This is not that first movie at all.
No, this was
in any sort. Even if there was a director's cut of that movie, there's no
there's
the original vision because they tried to Guardians it up.
Yeah, because originally it was Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
It was dark and gritty that David Goyer, Zack Snyder feel, and I'm not a big David Ayer fan anyway. Yeah. So whatever.
Fury is good.
Fury was okay. God, there's another one he did that I thought was okay, and I can't remember. Blanking on the name right now, but no, he's known for that type of.
It's just because maybe it's just because you can't make Brad Pitt a miserable fuck. Like Brad Pitt is just charismatic and you like him. Yeah. Maybe that's the only reason Fury is good because I'm thinking about all the other characters and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, right, dude. Yeah, because like Brad Pitt's just like you're just like, oh, Brad Pitt's sad. Now I'm sad.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like you're not just like, okay, oh man, this guy's seen some shit, man.
Yeah,
you're just like
anyway.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, but you know, you don't want to think of that fucking movie in any sort of capacity when you're talking about this movie.
No,
like, hell no.
No, and I don't think it even enters your mind. You're not like, oh, here we go. You know, it was funny because, like, yeah, I'll be honest. When it first started, I was kind of like, here we go.
Yep.
You
Same.
know? And
they got me.
And then from the opening scene, I was just like, okay, here we go. You know, like I was like, all right, what are we doing here? And then I was like, okay, which one of these fucks is actually gonna make it out of here? You know, and that was the thing I'll give it too, is even towards the end of the movie, especially when it's down to who it's down to, you're like, who dies here?
Yeah.
You know, it was, I mean, I knew that Idris Elba probably wasn't going to die. And I knew that Harley Quinn wasn't going to die.
No,
never. I started laughing out loud when she got pinned down on the beach. I was just like, what if they just fucking kill her?
Yeah, dude.
You know, I was like, could you imagine the uproar? They killed a main character in the first 5 minutes. And it, like, she just fucking takes one in the dome and falls over.
Dude, Nathan Fillion's character,
TDK?
His arms just come off and he just starts slapping guys, and they're like, "Ow!" And I'm like,
"Yeah, dude." I was like, "Oh, he's gonna get him," and then it's like they slowly move across the battlefield, and I was like, "Oh, buddy, no."
That's what makes you go like they knew they were gonna fail, right?
Well, I mean, like,
even though that was like, oh, fucking Pete Davidson betrayed them or whatever, but I'm just kind of like, you don't send that huge team with a guy whose arms flap around.
Yeah, like there were ones where I was just like, okay, well, who's gonna live out of this? Because I was like, Mongal, that's Mongol's sister, I think. Dude, fucking Mongal's a heavy hitter. I know that, dude. And I was like, maybe she lives for a bit, you know, because I was pretty sure they were all gonna fucking die. But yeah, I was just like, Captain Boomerang, you can't fucking ice Captain Boomerang. And I was kind of sad to see him go because I did kind of like him in the first movie. He felt like a real kind of blue collar hero villain that was just like, whatever, you know. And then like I was kind of like, oh no, you know, when he passed. But I really thought Mongal was gonna be, you know, it's like they put enough like heavy hitters or whatever on the team to where the team wouldn't question it.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Where they were just kind of like, huh, what do you do? My arm's detached. You're just a fucking varmint, you know?
Yeah.
And you're Pete Davidson, so this is gonna go great.
Yeah, it's funny. The diversion team
really was a diversion.
Was a diversion team, but also, yeah, like you said, they may have been able to make it. There were some people she put in there that it seems like she was like, they can go. I don't know. It was all very. I mean, it's just the early bit, and it's mostly for laughs. But then as it goes on, you're like, it's just very funny that they're talking about all the characters that were going to be in this movie and all the marketing, and
Just
constantly talking about it.
I feel like,
it was just for a joke.
Do you feel like James Gunn was taking a shot at like the Marvel Infinity War and Endgame
maybe,
game, kind of making fun of huge casts?
Yeah,
and
maybe
like,
that's what I was thinking too. I wondered if that was like if that,
I mean, and
the
I
whole
don't think
thing
it was. I don't think it was
joke.
malicious or anything, but I was wondering if he was kind of satirizing
Just like
giant
the more
casts.
the better, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But we made fun of Infinity War forever before it came out, and then egg on our face. But
yeah, right.
But yeah, I thought that too, and I'm just like, what a weird thing they did with that, where like the marketing leading up to this, people are like, wow, there's this character and this character and this character, and it's like, I guess they were thinking about the marketing and were probably like, if there's just a 4-person team of people nobody knows, and then Harley Quinn, like, is that going to be enough? They're like, dude, let's just fucking shovel them in there. Let's just shovel them in there.
Yeah,
and
who are guys that you thought were goofy? And I feel like they either did that, and they're like, oh god, like fuck it. Like I would love to see what the writers, like James Gunn and the other writers, and just being like, dude, this guy always sucked. Like I hated this guy in the books. I can't remember his name, or if they just
show
like
off their
Googled,
power and then immediately have them die. So the
Yeah.
people at least are happy. Their guy was there. He did whatever. Other people who don't give a shit will have a laugh. We can say we have a bunch of people in the movie, but we're kind of taking the piss.
Yeah.
And I was like, all around, this was just such a well thought out movie, from inception to filming to marketing to what he said after the fact, making fun of Pete Davidson, which I think is pretty funny.
That was really funny. He said his lines, and he said them like Pete Davidson, so I guess he did a good job. God, I hate Pete Davidson.
Because people are asking like a deep question, like portrayal of the character.
Yeah,
And he's
did
like,
you capture
did you
the
not,
essence of the
Did
character?
you not get what was going on?
Yeah, you didn't see what was going on? Oh, joke's on you. No, yeah, man,
Yeah, I say just watch it, man. It's just really good. Like, it's hard. We can sit here and praise it all day, but like, it is an experience, and it is like a film with a vision. In like, yeah, there's Harley fucking Quinn is in it, but it doesn't feel like it's part of some property to sell you shit.
It didn't feel like what we were talking about with the Marvel stuff before, or the Disney stuff in general before, where the previs, movies in general, where the previs happens and then you build the story around the action sequence and stuff. It felt like everything was part of the script. Yeah,
James Gunn's Guardians fucking 2, he writes that shit and then it gets fucking 2 passes by somebody else before it comes back to him.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, well, it's got to have this, it's got to have that. And like, honestly, I'm happy for him. Like, I'm glad he's coming back for another Guardians, but I'm happy for him that like doing these big Marvel movies actually launched his career to the next level.
Yeah, but Taika Waititi too.
Yeah, instead of just like, I'm the guy who did fucking Spider-Man Far From Home
and Slither.
Yeah, and well, you know what I mean, because those guys are probably going nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
But he had like, I mean, let's be real. He had like a lot of movies under his belt, and he had a style, and then these actually launched him to a bunch of experience with like big blockbuster shit.
That's true.
And instead of just being
true.
a sellout and stuck doing that,
Yeah.
he is. I mean, he's still working for Warner Brothers doing DC shit, but like, he is now like made him the filmmaker that was capable of making a movie.
Yeah, I
like
feel like
this.
they left him alone.
Yeah,
I feel like they left him alone for
and,
this, and his style comes through.
I don't think we're going to see that with a lot of other directors. Obviously, the Russo brothers, like whatever the next thing they fucking do.
I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, it's probably going to be good, and that this worked out in their favor. But Favreau, he's doing fine. But like, who directed Doctor Strange?
Was it James Wan?
Was it James Wan?
I know he was initially attached because he was another one that was like, no, I'm going to make a fucking scary ass Doctor Strange movie. And they were just like, wait. I don't know if he ended up doing it or not. You got the computer.
I know. No, but that's my point.
Yeah.
It's just like,
no, that's true. Well, and then I totally forgot that Kenneth Branagh did the first Thor movie,
and the second Thor movie is the
Game of Thrones guys.
Yeah,
and and then the two no names that did Captain Marvel, they're already gone. They already got new people. Thank God. I'm hoping I'm not very interested because
that
I
movie
don't care
not
about
doing
Captain
well
Marvel.
was not great for male co-directors. It
Yeah.
didn't shed us in a great light.
No.
No, I just think it's funny. That there was co-directors on that movie.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Whatever.
Whatever. I'm hoping that the next one is better, but I don't have large hopes. And then everything that's happened with Doctor Strange, this next one that's coming out, like I don't have any hope.
Yeah. Who the fuck knows? But I'm
Wait,
just.
no,
but
isn't that Sam Raimi this time?
they kept saying it was Raimi, but I don't think it actually is.
Really?
I think that was like it was talked about forever, and now it's not happening.
I don't know.
So I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
My point being that like yes, I'm glad that like something has come out of a creative person who was working at Marvel, except that's not just more Marvel movies. You know what I mean? Because Favreau's just producing all these fucking movies.
Oh yeah.
Kenneth Branagh, what the hell is he doing? Nothing.
Probably another Shakespeare.
Game of
thing.
Thrones guys. Everyone fucking hates him.
He did the Poirot movie a couple years back.
Oh. Yeah.
He did Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
And
You're right.
okay.
You're right. Yeah.
It's okay. But that's the thing about Kenneth Branagh is like most of his movies, it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Which is fine.
Yeah. But yeah, dude. No, I'm with you on that, dude. Like I feel like a lot of these directors that they get for these movies are going to be swallowed up and forgotten.
Well, and then
you're going to have your Russos,
time.
you're going to have your Whedons
Yeah.
and your Favreaus and your James Gunn. But I feel like a lot of these people that they get to do the first film or whatever, like no one's gonna remember.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. They don't have time to like know what their thing is. They do like one or two movies. They're still figuring.
And they're like,
shit
oh,
out.
I like that guy.
And then now they're
We can
just
get him to do
sucked
whatever
into
we
just
want.
doing whatever the fuck Disney wants them to do.
Exactly.
And they're just like, we're Disney directors now.
Exactly.
And it's like James Gunn. He was doing so much shit by the time he got in there, and he was a weird fucking dude. And it's like.
Yeah.
So like
Gunn's a weird guy.
So
he
like
was a trauma guy.
So he was, he had to make some sacrifices and kind of play by the rules there for a bit, but like guess what? That's tons of sweet blockbuster experience. And then another big studio goes, "Yeah, do whatever. Just make us money, please."
Right.
And then you get this, which is like, yeah, the best DC movie they fucking made for sure.
Oh, for sure. I
Who would have thought?
part of me hopes that Marvel looks at it and goes, "Hey, man, let's take a shot. Let's take a risk. Guardians 3. Whatever you want to do, man. No, chains are off. Do whatever you want." I would love for that to happen. It won't.
It won't. I mean, I don't even have faith for fucking what they're going to do with Deadpool. Not that I care about another Deadpool movie.
Yeah, well, they've already come out and been like, "Oh, it's PG-13." And
oh, did they?
Yeah.
Because like, did the PG-13 re-edit of the
I
second
heard
one
it
do
did-
better?
I heard it did good. I heard it did good. But it didn't do better and it didn't do worse.
Okay.
I heard it did good and there was like some new jokes in it and stuff like that everybody thought was funny. But I didn't give a shit enough to watch it.
Yeah, they're not going to let their grip off of their established shit right
Well,
now.
and
But like,
that's-
maybe give them something else then. But then
Yeah.
again, who cares? Let them keep working with DC then.
Well,
Fuck
and
it.
that's
You know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
That's the thing that like is tripping me out about
No
the future of
tribalism here.
like right, right, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like, but that's what kind of worries me about these Fox movies going forward. They've already announced a Predator and they've already announced an Alien, and I'm just like, yeah, but you guys have mandates. I'm not watching another PG-13 fucking Alien movie.
I don't know
that.
what
It
kind
was
of
terrible.
autonomy 20th Century
The
Fox
Fox
has.
properties have? Yeah.
Well, I just don't know because like, did they just fire all that leadership or studio heads or whatever, or like, is Disney just playing parent company at this time? You got to remember Disney's Pretty Woman, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There
yeah,
is some
yeah.
like if it's under a different brand, there's a little bit of fucking leeway because that was Touchstone.
Yeah.
And like, so Fox might still be able to do their own thing, but they probably have to go to the, they're at the board and Disney is gonna fucking be there telling them what to do for sure. But, I don't know. I just wonder how much autonomy is going on over there, or if Disney just sent over their two guys and we're like, we're fucking Disneying it up, motherfuckers. We got a system here.
It's so funny because we usually are just like Marvel movies, and now we're just like Disney's fucking everything up. But like, I mean, I feel like that's kind of been there the whole time. We've just been kind of like, whatever.
Because they make they make quality stuff.
Yeah,
but it's also like, but at a certain point, you gotta let artists do art.
I think we've talked about that a couple times.
Yeah.
Where we're just like, but you get locked into that Disney algorithm and stuff, and your whole voice gets lost. And
it's just been a long time of the same stuff. So like that's really all it is. It's not even so much like their system might work, but like you gotta tweak it from time to time, or we're just gonna be tired of watching the same shit.
And that I was just gonna say, I was just like, they got to start evolving, at some point, and just it's like. I'm excited that Shang-Chi is finally getting his day in the sun because I've always liked the Shang-Chi character. He's really cool. But I watched that trailer and I'm just like, yep, that's a Marvel movie, and it's I don't like feeling that way. Like I used to be like all excited about it, but it looks like just more of what we know, and I want something ambitious. And that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know how I feel about Eternals because it looks artistic. It looks very creative. It looks very original, and I'm hopeful for it. I'm hopeful for it. That's pretty much all I can say about it. Is just like I'm interested in it. It looks crazy. That movie looks like it's going to be the one where they start messing around a bit and letting directors actually be their own people. But yeah, Shang-Chi just kind of makes me sad because that's the next big one, and I'm just like, it looks like the same fucking movie you always make.
Yeah, they're gonna start throwing some shit and see what sticks. Like they can't just keep that shit's starting to peel off right now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
throw some new shit up there.
That veneer's starting to chip. Yeah.
But no, Suicide Squad. It's just very good. Like we don't want to spoil too much. We don't want to just fucking watch it. It's good.
Yeah.
Check it out. It's on HBO Max, or go to the movie theater. I don't care.
Yeah, do what you want.
Do whatever you want to do.
Do what you does.
Do what you does, dog. All right, that is a lot of shit. This is going to take me a long time to edit, and because I'm going to actually put in time codes this time. I didn't last episode because I was like, whatever. I mean, it was Future War. Anyway, we'll be back with another episode. There's plenty of shit coming out. So that's cool. Dune. I still got to watch the original Dune and read a whole novel by October.
Don't try to read the book, dude. Don't try to read the book.
I got to listen to a book.
You could do an audiobook. The audiobook, I can tell you the one that I grabbed. That one was really good.
Is it unabridged?
Yes.
Ah, fuck.
Hey, dude, it's not that long a listen, man. Come on. Dude's actually not that big of a book. Okay. It's just very, very dense.
Okay.
But yeah, dude, I wouldn't.
I just want to have all my bases covered for when I argue with you. So,
dude, honestly, you could just listen to the book and it'd be fine.
Okay.
But yeah, dude. No, I own the David Lynch, Dune. If you wanna watch it, just come upstairs. We'll watch it. Maybe we could talk about the original Dune on a
classic. Maybe we'll do a classic catch up on it.
Yeah, since we haven't done any.
Fuck! You're letting everybody know how little we're doing. You can find us on all. You can find us on all major podcasting apps, including Anchor FM, Apple, Google, all that shit. Spotify. Check us out. You know where you can find all of our new stuff when it goes up. At the moment it goes up, just follow us on Twitter at Mighty Movie Pod. That's just to find out when stuff goes up, because we put stuff on YouTube, which is Mighty Fish Productions, and we stream on the Twitch. We're gonna be talking about, I don't know, Final Fantasy or something. Twitch.tv/Mighty Fish Productions. And yeah, that's all of our stuff. I'm getting too good at this, Josh. You got to start thinking of things to sign off with.
I've been Josh.
And I'm Ryan. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you in the next one, but we won't see you because it's audio. Goodbye. And we're the ones doing it, not you. Okay, bye.
Bye. It's always a nightmare.
Seriously, stop. Oh, no.